Konnichiwa, minasan. Today I'm just feeling a bit bored, and since we've had this little event happening in Akihabara, Tokyo, Japan over the weekend, I thought I might as well just have a little chat, Sekilas pandang, about what's been on display at the WonHobby 2023 Spring Gallery. Basically, this is one of the quarterly events that we get to see as figure collecting fans. And this spring's exhibition was at the Akibako Gallery from the 27th until the 28th of May. So basically, you're going to have a quick look lah dekat what the gallery contains. And this gallery contains the figures daripada scales to nendroids to figmas released by the Good Smile company, including Mac Factory. But the WonHobby also contains include other manufacturers. And as usual, kita akan ke website ruruberries/moipop.com, where as usual she has a comprehensive gallery of what other figure company makes. Anyway, let's get started lah. So basically the gallery here, we can see a mixture of, I'm gonna go through whatever yang I know or am interested in, and unfortunately things that I am not really a fan of, I'll probably just, as they say, glaze through quickly je lah. We've got a little comment from somebody. Hello, Adi Hakim. Yeah, long time no see. Just me talking bull here, so by all means, if you've got any comments about any of the figures, please drop a line. Anyway, so first figure is Kana Arima from the anime Oshinoko. Yeah, Oshinoko is really hot at the moment, and this character is one of the side characters who's a child prodigy, who is, I actually haven't watched anything other than the famous 90-minute episode that everybody was talking about, but I remembered her from one of the scenes when the kids were into acting. So basically, I can't really remember whether they orang buat tak figures for the other characters, but we'll have a look. So next we have, of course we do have it from Oshinoko, Aquamarine Hoshino. So this is one of the deuterogenists in the IP. Cerita ni quite interesting actually, because when we were first introduced to Oshinoko, I first heard about it sometime last year as a manga. Masa tu Aka Kasaka, the author, just announced, well, I'm not sure that he's a he or her, retirement from being a mangaka. Tapi Oshinoko, dia masih lagi menulis, but the artwork is done by somebody else. So at first I thought this was like a twisted isekai, but it isn't really. The early premise sounded like one, but it's more of a reincarnation story, tinged with a revenge concept. So yeah, and thus far it's been quite good. I saw episode 2 briefly, and it wasn't rubbish, and a lot of people say it's actually quite good. So basically, if you're into the characters in this upper IP, it's up for grabs lah. So as usual, pop-up parade obviously is now no longer the 3,080 yen jobby. Is obviously gone up in price, and this is one of Ai Hoshino, the main character from episode 1. So obviously, siapa yang tahu, you know. There are several other incarnations of her that was announced prior to this. I mean, in fact, it's still on pre-order. I think they were announced either in the fall or in the winter. Made by other makers. I think Kadokawa has one, which looks quite nice. Looks like the poster of the actual manga. And I think the other one is by a Good Spy Company, and it's kind of like a alternative version of the one done by Kadokawa. All right. Another one, Oshinoko, Ruby. This is Aquamarine's twin sister. If you know, you know. So basically, looks like we've got a full complement of Oshinoko characters. Obviously, with her not being painted yet, susah nak tahu what other comments we can give. Anyway, onwards. Another pop-up parade, and another one of Aquamarine Hoshino, but it's a pop-up parade version. As per usual, pop-up parade is quite difficult to find them in any inspiring poses, but you know, that's what you get with a somewhat semi-budget level figure. Although you have to say that there are a lot of price figures that actually do strive to have better poses than this, albeit you could argue that the degree of quality with regards to the build and sculpt and painting might well be slightly inferior, tapi itulah. So Kanarima again, and in her pop-up parade version. Yeah, I mean, usually pop-up parades are for, I mean, if people like me, if I do want to collect them, it's either this or I prefer Nandroids really. If you want to display them along with your, say, manga collection. At the moment, the English version only has up to volume 2 out soon, considering the fact that there's a few more volumes that's already out in Japan. All right, onwards. Bocchi the Rock. Finally, we've got, I think, it was announced recently, like last weekend on Twitter, that Bocchi is now getting her bandmates from Keisoku Bando in Android form. So this is obviously Nijika Ijichi, the enthusiastic drummer. It would be nice if she had drums, but obviously they've not said anything much about it yet, because if you look at other members of the band, they do have their own instruments. This is Ryo Yamada, her bassist, the quiet bassist, but who's actually quite witty with words, and also does not bring her own money and actually pinjam duit di kerja dia. And of course, Kita Ikuyo, the lead singer and second guitar of the band. I mean, I know if you're a fan of the IP, you would, and if you know a bit of Japanese, there's a bit of a pun in the name, because Ikuyo means jom, Kita means datang. So it's like, you know, play on words with regards datang dan pergi, I guess. Okay, let's see what we have next. An Android series of Ijika's sister and the drunkard bass player. God, I can't remember their names. Yeah, I beg your pardon. Again, I'll be happy to get these girls. Gosh, it'll be, you know, it's bad enough that I've got a bunch of Nandroids that's based on band, manga, and anime. So let's go and see what we have next. Okay, still on the theme of Bochi. Good Smile Company scale figure version of Hitori Goto or Bochi herself. Quite a nice looking figure. Obviously, what would be more interesting is to see what the paint work will look like. Sorry, I'm just checking if there's anything else in the description for her. A bit uninspiring, I guess. If you consider, I mean, for me, my benchmark of band figures would be that of K-on's characters by Alter, and those figures are getting on a bit. I think they were around from 2008, so those figures will be around for 15 years, and each band member had a little pose. But the thing is, if you think about Bochi, she probably wouldn't pose much, being that pemalu kind of character, and of course, if you got Bochi, we'll have her bandmates. Nice. So yeah, we'll see what they're like. I mean, obviously, usually this kind of illustrations do not really reflect the potential poses that the characters will have. Hot take: pop-up figure is a deadline budget, so you should have prioritized Figmas. I see what you mean though. But Figmas I kind of like the posability. So like as how you do it with Nandroid. Perversely enough, when I first started collecting, I was all for Figmas, and then when you start seeing all the funny looking joints, it does catch you out a bit, and you go like, okay, fine. And I guess it will work if your collection had been Figmas all the way, and then mungkin tak rasa janggal kot. But I think I was the sort of collector when I started with a bit 1 or 2 Figmas, and then I started buying scales, and then the kind of not perception, the kind of I don't know, method of displaying your figures and all that slightly differs if you have a permanent static pose. I never liked Nandroid in the beginning, and then I started buying one and I got hooked. So it's quite weird that you would have thought if I had liked Figmas, I would have stuck to buying Figmas and do the dioramas with them, but I ended up doing Nandroids. I think because Nandroids lagi banyak kot than Figmas. So onwards. Another pop-up raid of Hestia from Danmachi. I do not watch Danmachi. Not that I have anything against the IP, but I've never watched it. I think they dah season 4 good by the moment. But she's if I were to get a Hestia figure, I'll get her freeing bunny. I shall not say anymore. Onwards. Another Danmachi character, Mikoto Yamato again. So since I do not watch or nor read the IP, I do not know who she is, and she looks quite alright. Considering. And another one of art, Liluka art. Again, those who watch the or read the IP would probably be interested. That's another one from Danmachi, Ice Wallenstein. Her name sounds familiar. I think I can't remember whether or not I've seen her in other formats at all. Anyway, onwards to Sanjo no Haruhime, another one from Danmachi as a pop-up parade. It reminds me of, I don't know why she looks like Holo to me, but anyway. So I don't watch that, so I wouldn't know who's who in this IP. Okay, onwards. Oh yes, Ichigo Kuraku, another IP of choice this season. the manga, if you actually want to collect it, it's actually not bad with regards to volume wise. It's only got 13 volumes, but the anime is currently being screened by and it's being made by Mappa, and it's quite interesting. Quite an interesting story, very violent story, and I think this is quite a nice representation of Gabimaru the Hollow here. Not, I'm not sure what kind of other faceplate they would have for him, considering the fact that I can imagine they'll probably have one of him with blank eyes, for example, in his bloodlust form. But he's a shinobi and with immense powers. So somebody as violent as him, looking this Chomel as an android would be quite interesting. And of course, we got Yamada Asaemon Tagiri, Kabimaru's handler or executioner. Yeah. She's had a couple of skills or bigger figures announced. One of the, I think Mappa announced a series of figures of her, Gabimaru, and Yuzuhira. And then the problem with her post is, I mean, it was so boring. I'm not sure what, I think because they've announced her before already, I don't think she'll be included in this gallery. Oh god, pop rate for Gabimaru. Yeah. So as I said, I mean, all this boring derita cegat kind of post is, it doesn't create much inspiration really. Oh god, another one. In fact, the 38,000 or 28,000 yen version by Mappa is something like this, with some swirling angin around the character. So you go like, probably buy the pop-up parade lah if it's just as uninspiring. So it'll be interesting to see what else they've made. Mashuru. This is allegedly quite a good IP to watch or read. A friend of mine actually watches it and recommends it highly, but I haven't gotten around to watch it. So this is Lance Crown. I don't think this is the main character because he looks different, but yeah, I guess if anybody wants to read or watch. I'm not saying it's a Harry Potter ripoff, but it's obviously inspired by the a bunch of magicians, wizards, or whatever it is in school. I think the basis of the story is that this main character here, which is Mash Burn Dead. So I think Mashuru, I mean, in English it's spelled Mashal, so it's Mashuru in Japanese. I think it's a mixture of his name plus muscle. And you can see the reason why we're talking about muscle, he carries weights. And the reason for that is because he doesn't have any inherent magical powers. So he's compensating by increasing his strength. If I'm not mistaken, that's what the story is about. So yeah, and obviously, if you got an android, they're gonna do a pop-up parade. I think they're doing it like this because it's a current IP being shown on TV at the moment in Japan as part of the spring season, anime spring season. Anyway, here we go. Hatsune Miku, everybody's favorite Vocaloid. I still cannot tahan her suara. I mean, as you can see as you can hear from her songs people will be shooting at me lah for dissing her. I do have a couple of Nandroids, not skills though. 16th birthday, so she is 16 years old now. She's been around for a while. I've got a couple of Nandos just because I wanted her car. So I got one of a old one which was about 10 years old, and all the stickers all the decals were, once you put it on the water, it breaks up by itself. She was so horrible to put it together, but there you go. I think some of her Nandroids in kimono form are quite nice. Obviously, she would have her snow version every year, so you have little varieties of that. I'm not too keen on that, but there was one kimono version which was actually sold to help raise funds for I can't remember the name of you. I'm sure you guys know which kimono I'm talking about, because the actual kimono is being displayed currently at the Tokyo National Museum, and it basically got more funds than what it needed to help restore the kimono. Yeah. So a lot of people who are into Hatsune Miku are really into this kind of complex skills. I mean, quite a lot of her good skills are by the Chinese manufacturers like My Ethos. You know, they could have complex looking sculpts and paintwork and yet have a price tag that's quite nice. This is obviously by Good Style Company, so I'm not too sure. And as we all know, the price of figures are now like going to the roof. It's really crazy. I think so much so that if you were to look at the second-hand market of figures, when I first started collecting, if I like to look at the pre-owned section in Ami, because they seem to be the only one that seems to have a more organized section for pre-owned figures. And I remember the days where, you know, it's so difficult to get certain scales, certain bunnies, you know, like when I bought my second bunny actually, which was the Ryuko bunny from Kill la Kill. It was like a holy grail of sorts. Spent about 500 USD on it, and now it's like dime a dozen. Swear to God, if you were to go to the Ami pre-owned section, in the past I could remember him saying that they would have within the list probably about 4,000 individual figures. Now seeing them selling 6,000 to 6,500 figures is quite usual now. It's the usual number now. If you've got all the rare figures in the past are there now. It's a matter of whether you've got money or not to spend. Right. I'm sorry, I was rambling on about pre-owned figures. Here's another 60th birthday version, and it's by GSC again. Yeah, she's got. I think this is more of a kind of an abstract looking sculpt. So I guess, you know, having guitar being part of a, you know, sculpt at the part of a rambut probably looks nice somewhere. Although there's one of her with a guitar that I really like, but then at that time I think I had enough figures with musical instruments anyway. So a few more Hatsune Mikus, and this one's a scale again by GSC, and it's a Shimi and Maifu version, which I'm not too sure what that means, but it does appear that she's playing a Chinese lute or a pipa. And is this a racing one? 2022 tropical version. Yes, of course, you will have many versions of a version. So, you know, you have racing versions of it every year, and then we'll just create another excuse and have it tropical or whatever. Onwards, and you'll get an Android version of Racing Miku, and this is this year's version. So yeah, I guess this thing sells itself. Nobody is gonna need to say much. Cineroll collab version. Okay, Omori. I have no idea who this is. He's holding a kitchen knife. Either this is... So anybody knows what this is, if you want to drop a comment, by all means, please do so. Let's go on to the next one. And Overwatch 2, right? This is a game character. I'm aware of the game, never played it. I'm not really much of a gamer anyway. Last time I played a game was a million years ago, and it was Final Fantasy 13. And Silent Hill 2, yes, I kind of remember the appearance of this guy, but this is a pop-up print. Yeah, not too bad. At first I thought this was unpainted, but it is painted. Yeah, all right, not bad. And of course, Halo. Okay, Nandroid for the Master Chief. Diablo 3, another game character. So as usual, I mean, if you're fans of a particular game or character, sometimes this thing sells itself. It might, you might be swayed yay or nay by depending on the post or whatever. Danganronpa. I quite like the main character for Danganronpa, albeit I think she's the main character. The one with the bear. I've not played the game at all. LB, IB, IB, or is it LB or Pound? Ibu, Ivu. Oh, that's what it says in Japanese on there. And Persona 5 is another JRPG. A friend of mine recommended me playing it. It's been so long since. I've been wanting to play my Final Fantasy 13 Part 3, and I think I've kept it on the shelf for ages, if you know how long that game was released. Okay, yeah. But even though I do not know this character, but it's like the joy with buying Nandroids are things like this, little details like this, like how they strive to get these details in for a figure this small. Well, I think that's what the appeal is for people like us who likes to collect Nandroids. I mean, some people just cannot be bothered with posing them, which is true. But it depends. So this is why I beg about it. If you have it in a diorama format, you may have an inkling to, and I mean the inclination to change the poses. But if you're just having it displayed statically, it's kind of like pointless, really. A couple of figures from Hollow Knight and Valhalla. No, again, sorry for you guys if you know the characters while I do not. So I'm just gonna move forward. This is from Yu-Gi-Oh! Yes. Oh, it's interesting to see that how popular Blackrock figure still is. I think I remember seeing her for the first time about 10 years ago. And I have to be honest with you, I still don't get what the story is about. I think she's appeared in several incarnations in the anime. Oh, sorry, I didn't notice that. Yes, Hadi, re-release the figures from the past cause people to panic sell their holy grails. It depends though. I mean, if the re-release are there, I mean, it's kind of too late once they've announced the re-release, because I'm not going to be buying from these people if they actually wanted to keep it as an investment. But I still think that there are still figures that are still rare. Bukanlah rare macam so difficult. I mean, as much as they are present and say they are pre-owned, you probably say you wouldn't be able to sell a 25,000 yen figure for 100,000 anymore. But you'll be able to sell it for 65,000, which is still good money. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people would argue that that's scalping. You're actually taking advantage of people. But the thing is, if you bear in mind, this is how the market works, isn't it? I mean, like if you buy a house, it depends where you are. In most countries in the world, you buy a house, you expect the house to go up. So just because I bought a house in 1970s for 50,000 ringgit, and then suddenly, in 40 something years, it becomes 2 million ringgit, and I sell it for 2 million ringgit, I'm not a scalper. That's the market price. The price of the house has gone up because of the surrounding areas, blah blah blah. A lot of people are confusing the difference. Scalpers are people who actually buy a lot of a product, depriving other people to buy stuff. and then they sell it to these people who couldn't buy the stuff at an increased price. So if I bought, say, my Ryuko for $500 when the original price was probably $200, say for the sake of argument that it's now $700, that's what it is. Because if you want to get it elsewhere, go ahead. It's going to be $900 or $850. So, that's how it is. It's not like I bought 200 of those figures, making it, so that orang tak boleh beli, and then they have to come to me. I've got them. How much? I'm selling it twice the price. Itu baru scalping. So it's a big difference. Scalping and selling it for an increased price is a totally different thing. But that's enough ranting from me. Let's get on to the next bit. Gosh, I have no idea what Blue Archive is, so sorry about that. And looks like a made figure. One of those little tropes you get in figure collection. Another Blue Archive character called Arona as an android. And oh yeah, this Nikki, the game. Yeah, you see, I don't play games, as I said before, but some of these game characters are really great, especially from this IP. But I do not know who Guren is. I mean, the reason I'm mentioning characters like this are because I've a penchant for characters which are juxtaposed with traditional Japanese, say for example attire or fashion next to, say, modern things. So for example, like a samurai girl with big machine guns, for example, things like that. So I think that's kind of cool. Here we go. This is Modernia. So hyper body Modernia. I wonder what that is. If that means it's posable. Yes, FGO, another. Well, sorry, I do not follow Fate at all. Although I do have an interest in certain Fate characters, by virtue of them having motorbikes. Yes. The only Fate characters I've got are basically. Oh gosh, I'm gonna sound like a right poser here. Yeah, it's the alter version of Arturia. I think when she's changed her motorbike into the sleeker, sharper version, but in android form. And there's one of her as a maid. And I think if anybody follows me on my Instagram, or you would notice that I've got the maid cleaning kitchens in a restaurant. I'm irreverent like that. So anyway, Jean d'Arc, Pop Parade. I think the beauty of FGO characters are the majestic way of how they are presented. So I think the ones to collect are, if you are into those kind of sculpts or poses, is obviously the alter version where you got those massive flags and that kind of thing. Anything else is neither here nor there, in my opinion. So yeah, so Jean d'Arc, Avenger, alter. Yes. Anyway, what's this? Tsukihime, servant sculpture, third cause of death, blood loss. Yeah, this kind of figures look great, but you really need space. Is it a skill? It is a skill. You definitely need space, even if this is a 1/8. I think that's the height of a quarter scale bunny. Right, onwards. Yes, Figmas. Oh, Arcuate Brunstead. I'm aware of her. I do not know who she is. But there you go. This reminds me of, again, I've only built thus far one Gunpla and one Kotobuki of version of the Gunpla called Flames Arm Girls. Yeah, and it depends what you like, really. So, I'm not sure what LSK Aegis is, but that's what it is. And Uma Musume, Psy Games flagship IP. I got a friend who really tells me, who's telling me to really go and watch this. Just not too keen on the concept of idol girls who are actually horses having to run around a racetrack. Matike Tannhauser. I mean, I'll draw the line at bunny girls and cat girls to an extent. But yeah, when it's a horse, never mind lah. To everyone their own. So anyway, Idol Master. So again, Idol Master characters, there are a dime a dozen. I mean, they have like, in the vein of actual idols in Japan, where you've got 48 members in a particular group, you lose count. And same here with me. Although I only know one character by the name of Shibuya Rin from the Cinderella Girls, I think, whatever it is they called. Ninomae Inanis, Hololive. So here we go. We're going to start with VTubers. For a while there, I thought she was a character from Pochi Ida. Shoto, another kid with a knife. I have no idea who Shoto is. Neji Sanji is also another company that does VTubers in Japan, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, Neji Sanji also has an English language branch of VTubers as well. So yeah, I don't really watch or follow VTubers, but due to being familiar with some of them by virtue of watching other podcasts. For example, I'm a fan of Trash Taste, so I'm familiar with, for example, Iron Mouse. So I've got her Nandroid ordered, and she's quite an interesting VTuber as well. I think this is Kason, is it? Yes, I think I've seen Kason once on Trash Taste. She's another she's from VShojo and she speaks in English. I think she's also Japanese. I do not know who Amemiya Nazuna is, but she's also another VShojo VTuber. I mean, there's loads of them, so basically there you go. Nandroid dolls. I've never gotten into buying Nandroid dolls. If I'm not mistaken, the heads are the same. You could use the faceplates from actual androids onto the dolls. It would work with dioramas of a larger versions, and I've seen a lot of people do that. But I like to keep them small, and if I want figures big, I'll buy proper skills or otherwise. Yeah, and that's of Aaron. And yes, I only watched season 1 of Attack on Titan, so I watched it 10 years ago when it first came out. So, but when the season finished, I started reading the manga, and then I started running out of, I just couldn't wait to wait. Once I got to the end of the manga, where at that point, I couldn't read any more into it. So I've decided to, I'll come back to it in a couple of months' time, and that never happened until now. Yes, anybody watching the third season of Kimetsu no Yaiba would know our friend here, Tokito Muichiro, the Miss Hashira. As a collector, I do not collect. Well, I only have the main 4 androids. For the Hashira, my plan is to actually buy the Bandai SH Figuarts 0 version, and I think the latest one in that collection is Tengen Uzui. So I would expect the next one would be of him and Kanroji Mitsuri, but we'll see. Obviously, with what you've seen in the manga and in the anime, I'm hoping to see, especially of Mitsuri Kanroji, with very good poses of the figures, because of the way that she uses her flexible katana. So, and thus far there are a few figures announced, but they're all prize figures, and some of them are quite alright. But with prize figures, you got to wait until it's out on the second-hand market, or either that, or you need to go to buy them from actual shops, for example, where you live, because these figures, as you well know, are from the claw machines, the UFO. Yes, Adi, of course. Too much anime, too little time. Anyway, so GSC skill of I think I've seen this in the version for Kamado Tanjiro. If this is the one that looks like a box and lit from the back, I don't know. Looks really weird though. It's probably not meant for you to be put on a shelf, or probably it's meant for you to be put on a, I don't know, mantelpiece of some sort. I mean, it looks great and all, but it just doesn't work for me, in my opinion. Oh, it's a Tanjiro. Oh, right. This is the Nendo doll. The Nendroid version, thus far, is always being sold at cons. So I think I have the Nendroid version. Had to go to not convention, well, if you could call it a convention, at Paradigm Mall at PJ last year. Had to really turn up early in the morning to make sure I get one. Anyway, yes, Yome Himejima, the Stone Hashira. I actually, as much as I said that I do intend to buy the Bandai versions of the Hashiras, which are actually non-scale, by the way, which look probably like 1/9. I do have the full set of the noodle stoppers. All of them are seen eating onigiri, and that one is quite nice because the way that they are designed, you could get them set together and it looked like they're having a big onigiri party. I actually took some photographs of them sitting together, and just to flex a bit, I actually submitted them into one of the Chinchai photography competitions organized by Tokyo Takumut. I think I got one of those 20 runners up. Dapat lah $5 punya voucher or some crap like that. But it's nice to be shortlisted and win something. Haha, Jujutsu Kaisen. I have only watched 5 episodes and the film. I will get there. A lot of people be telling me mixed views on where the story is heading. But I did think it was quite alright. The film was quite good. Yeah, Inomaki. Yeah, nice. Anyway. Yes! Now, at first, 7 Deadly Sins was quite alright, and then it started to become a bit more, I don't know, I didn't even know where it's going. And then it got worse by the time they've changed the studios. So, despite that, I've not read the manga. I don't feel like I wanted to do so anyway, but I kind of like the characters. And King here, for example, the only figure that I knew of existed before this was a Nendroid. So at the moment, I have a pop-up rate of Elizabeth, Leonis, Meliodas, and Ban. I do have Elizabeth as a bunny, but I bought the Diane bunny, which wasn't selling very well. I think I remember I was telling about how figures, second-hand figures, are a dime a dozen these days. Due to the increase in price, and people have changed their ways of buying, and you would have noticed a lot of people going on about, I'm not pre-ordering figures anymore. I have somewhat followed suit as well, which is quite nice, because actually now you can, like, you keep an eye out for it, make sure you know when the figures are being released, and try to grab it then. Or you'll get to see some people selling off all their pre-orders because they wish they hadn't bought it. I think it's a big different in ways, and the way of buying figures is slightly differ now. So this is pretty much illustrating why I probably shouldn't have bought that Diane bunny, because I probably could have gotten her for 5,000 yen cheaper. So my idea was to actually have them display the three pop-up rates with Diane the bunny, because then they'll make sense scale wise, because Diane's a giant, and since King in his dendroid form has him, you can pose him accordingly. So I could have him floating with one of those figure holders, and apparently they're gonna announce Escanor as well as a pop-up rate. So they will make my collection complete. So I'm not gonna bother with Diane here this is the X. Oh gosh, yeah. I think the XL size of the Diane would go well if you hadn't bought the bunny. The bunny would be a bit funny in the sense because she doesn't look like a rabbit in the actual IP. So this, if it's going to be a quarter scale, this would go well with the other pop-up rates. Yeah, so this is the Escanor L size. Yeah, I guess so, because he's massive. I would have thought they would have him as a normal size, so that you could put it. I mean, if the normal size Escanor would have him as the same height as Ban and everybody else, that would look weird. Because the Meliodas is actually quite small. We'll see. Usually when they announce it, they would say, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, the point of having the XLL and the new normal size is to have the same character and design so. Onwards, Helsing, Alucard. Swear to God, I really do not take any note of L size and XL sizes by pop-up rate, because I'm not too sure whether when they announce a pop-up rate, it implies that you can choose the sizes when you put it in the shopping basket. All right, Alucard from Helsing. Tak tengok so wouldn't know. Another one that I do not watch with his Vinland Saga. I'll be a bit of a hypocrite to say that, I do not watch any anime that's of non-Japanese. Then I watch Spy Family. No, I just never thought of watching a Viking story. It's like watching Viking Dome. Viking story made in Malaysia. But joking aside, apparently it's very good. So, and this is actually very good as well, Golden Kamuy. I've watched the first season and the beginning of the second season. It's a violent manga. I wasn't too perturbed when they had scenes of people being, having their fingers chopped or bitten off by psychotics or whatever. But the depiction of how to skin a squirrel and mince it to make food while I was going hina was probably a bit too much for me, being what you call it, hypocritical animal lover. This is outrageous. 5 episodes. I can't remember what was I describing. 5 episodes. Oh, you mean I can remember I was describing a few a few animes. Escadon looks so damn good. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that's oh yes, Rebecca. She looks weird though. I think it's the hands. She would look so much better as a skill. I'm not too sure why she looks like this, because anybody else in Android form would look alright. It's quite funny that when they wanted to create this, the European side of the company went, let's not have a lolly in the team, and the Japanese side of the company said, no, the lolly stays. Oh gosh, that's so funny. But yeah, Cyberpunk Edge Runners was fantastic. I enjoyed watching it. Ascendance of a Bookworm. Again, the only isekai I watch is Konosuba. Really. And Kaguya-sama Love is War. Ah, there you go. I think the Harmonia Humming series, they are freaky range. I'm not having any of this in my house. Next thing you don't want to see is them scurrying around on the floor. God forbid. Kamikatsu working for God in a godless world. I've seen a trailer for this. It looks quite funny. Oh God, it's one of those things where every season you get so much things to look to watch, and you never get time to watch any of them. Yes, I'd rather watch this than watch Attack on Titan. Next. Summer clothes version, scale figure. Yes, if the post is good. I can't remember whether I pre-ordered one. Gosh, I'm sure there's a scale of Komi that I pre-ordered. I really have no idea. Probably not. I can't remember, but I think there was a scale that was made available for pre-order. And the funny thing was they have the funny big-eyed version faceplate that comes with it as well. So it feels a bit out of place, because I think it looks really well. Looks really good on the Android. And yes, here we go, Megumin again. I remember when I first started collecting, there's always a Megumin bunny form, racing form, this form, that form. Although I have to say, the quarter scale freeing bunny with tights, gosh, she is so elusive in the second-hand market. If it's there, the price would be like really over the top. I missed one just only recently, sold in the same country for about a lot of money, but still cheaper than other places. The only problem was that it didn't have a box. Although you could argue that, it's so difficult to keep boxes these days. It did have the blister pack, so I don't know, but tak kira tak ada rezeki lah. But the problem with Konosuba bunnies, if I want one, I want all four. I think they have darkness, they have aqua, and they have Yun. Although Yun should be the first bunny from Konosuba if I were ever to buy one, because that's canon. Okay, Goblin Slayer 2. Yes, I only saw a bit of it. Wasn't that impressed. I think because at that time I was watching Overlord and it did feel a bit sameish. I'm sure it's different, but Anya's faceplate. Oh, that's gonna be quite nice. I quite like this blank look on her face. Yes. Definitely getting that one. Yeah. I'm a sucker for this IP. I think I've almost got. Well, I don't have everything that they make of the three main characters, but yeah, when this pre-order for this comes out, definitely getting it. Now, yes, I don't know. I like the chair. The only Makoto Shinkai characters I've got are those of Mitsuha and Taki, and they were of the pop-up variety. I think the actual Aniplex version is pretty more quite expensive, and it's just two people dressed in a school uniform. Probably not that inspiring. If I were to spend any money on this IP, it will be more on when the full box set Blu-ray with behind the scenes yadida and artwork book comes out. But we'll see. 4,000 yen, I'll probably say yes anyway. And what's this? Wataten, an angel flew down on me. I think somebody did mention that this is an annoying IP. I don't know what it's all about. But okay, if this rocks your boat and if you like it, if the posters are like this, it probably be worth getting. World Die Star, tak kenal. Yuri is my job. Is the Yuri that Yuri? Sorry, Adi. Because me reviewing the other it's on another page. I cannot respond to you in real time. Should have been flatlined and wave and freeing. Oh, the wave and freeing is the Komi, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, the freeing bunny. I think I bought that. I pre-ordered that. To go without saying. But I don't think I bought the wave one. I didn't think I bought the wave. I didn't think I pre-ordered the wave Komi. Right, Dangers in My Heart. Oh gosh, again sounds familiar. Must be one of the new anime IPs. I have no idea. I saw bits of this. Tomo-chan is a girl. It's quite alright, although feeling a bit generic now. It's about how long can you have a guy being clueless that this childhood friend of his actually fancies him, and the fact that he's clueless that he thinks that she's like one of the lads. Voiced by Takahashi Rie, which is quite surprising because Rie tends to have a very girlish voice, and she has to sound a bit more gruff for Tomo-chan here. So it was still enjoyable watching it. I need to finish watching it though. Yes, Yuru Camp. Now, I think I'll not say stop buying their stuff, but the thing is, my Eurocamp characters thus far has been the ones that you could have them sitting around a campfire with a tent and all that, and not much room in the way of having them walking around or whatever in a diorama. So not too keen on getting this version of them. In fact, even with the scales, I wasn't too keen on getting them as scales. It's a nice IP, nice relaxing IP, but when I watched the film version, I was a bit disappointed, really. It is of them grown up, wanting to create a camping site. I've not read the manga because the thing is, I cannot imagine what the manga will be like of a bunch of girls wanting to go out and do camping, because I think in anime format at least you can see how they do the camping activity, how they prepare the food and all that. And if by the time they did the film, again, I'm not too sure whether or not the film is canon or not, whether it's based on a manga or a light novel or whatever. If it's meant for if it was originally written for the film. So if they've done a film set in the future, I'm not too sure whether they're going to have a season 3 or not for Eurocamp. But don't get me wrong, I find these characters very adorable. In fact, Nadeshiko, pink haired girl here, is my favorite from the series, and it's one of those things that I could watch it again and again. So even if they don't have a new season, I'll watch it. Yes, Licorice Recoil. Another sleep. I thought that Licorice Recoil was pretty good. Enjoyed the first season, and this is Kurumi Walnut. Not because she's a lolly, okay? She's just funny because she's small, but I think she's the oldest among the bunch. she's just funny. And yes, Chisato and Takina. And surprisingly, they only have Chisato's name in this one. You would think that this is the best format for these two characters, considering the fact what they're like in the anime, using guns and everything. But because Figmas are no longer my mainstay of figure types in my collection, I'll just have to let this go. I've ordered the Aniplex scale, the waitress version in the traditional Japanese costume. Pre-ordered the GSC uniform version. Again, this is a fixed pose because the actual poses are very good, and it was quite cheap actually, considering the time when those kind of figures, I think it was 1.7, it is 1.7, going for about 13,000 yen, which is unheard of. They could easily, considering the fact that the kind of sculpt and paintwork on the prototype, provided that's what it looks like when it comes out. Takina was 16,000 because she's holding one of the big ass machine guns. So I'll going back to Kurumi here. Yeah, I'll definitely buy her because I already bought the other two Nendos. And there you go. So this is Takina. Yes, when we wanted her, nobody made her. And whilst we are still waiting for season 2, suddenly I think it's this season that there's a lot of announcement of Marin Kitagawa actual skills. I think the market with regards, the Marin is available mainly in the price figure market at the moment, and third party resin. And obviously, when it got third party resin, you know lah what kind of figures they'll make of her. I've pre-ordered already her Aniplex versions of the bikini and the school uniform, the one that she does a peace sign. Because I thought the sculpt was very good. So that I don't feel there's any point buying this one, because I think the one by Aniplex looks better. Although what is unavailable, Panja Umo, is this. Now, Shizuku-tan had the pre-orders for the Nendo doll already. This is the Nendoroid. Her skill is currently not... Well, there is one coming out by eStream. Thus far, I think it's unpainted, computer generated. So it's difficult to say what she looks like. But surprisingly, Taito, core full price figure of her that looks exactly like the pose that she has in front of the mirror, with good detailing, is coming out later this year. So because it's a price figure, I had to go pre-order her at my local
figure shop. So let's hope she looks good. Ancient Magus Bride. Again, tak ikut, so tak tahu lah. Looks nice. I like the colours. This was Cheetah Story. Okay, same. It's the same character. Unpainted. Usually JSC, you'll not go wrong lah. And this is the Pop Parade. That's L size. Let's see. Haha. Mihari. Oh god, this is a dumpster fire of a flipping IP. I have to admit, I enjoyed it to the max. It's so funny. You just have to take it as I'm not going to be judgmental or whatever. It's nothing to do with being woke ke apa. It's just a story about how this girl converted her elder brother, who's 20 years of age, who's Shatin, who used to be a normalish person in school and has become a Shatin. And he converted. They don't show this. The beginning of the season, the brother was already converted. He converted her into a middle school girl. So what transpired in the end is not orang cakap dia ni pido lah apa. Nothing to do with that at all. Because if you watch the story, obviously it's funny lah, because macam Mamat ni suddenly I'm now a girl. But it's like little lessons in there as well, like how he started to appreciate his his younger sister, when he started to do things like, it's just funny. And he became more sociable because obviously he was introduced to his sister's friends, and then came to a point that he got caught by a truant officer because dia tak pergi sekolah kan, because all this while dia hidup as a 20-year-old, and now he's a kid at home, and hari tu dia keluar dari rumah, dia kena tangkap. So clever enough of his younger sister, so I think better enroll you in school so that you will not get into problem. So that it was so funny. It's very, very heartwarming, and and you see the relationship between the Mihari and the sister. Obviously the brother's called Mahiro. I can't remember whether they have the. I think they did have the Mahiro pre-orders available early on, so it must have been listed out for during the winter WonHobby. But have a watch. Don't be scared. There's nothing dodgy about it at all. Nabral Gamma. Oh gosh, Overlord. Overlord is a bit funny. Is that it was around last year, and then suddenly there were lots and lots of Albedo figures out late 2022. Tak tahu apa pasal. And Nabral Gamma was there's actually one skill of her by Alter, I think, which is quite good. Resin Maiden, no idea what this is. Soul Eater. Ha! Kirito. Oh God! You know what I was thinking? I was thinking of flipping Kazuma of Konosuba. I was like, why are they having another one of him? Because the Kazuma made by GSD was of him holding a stolen floor alarm. Anyway, onwards, because I think I want to get on to Ruru Berries' website just for fun. Right, I've not Sword Art Online movie. I actually watched Sword Art Online when it first. Well, not when it first came out, but I think I watched a couple of seasons, and I think I watched a bit of the Gun Gale Online. And I watched a couple of the films, but then I kind of stopped. So probably I was lying to say that Konosuba was the only isekai that I enjoyed. I think because SAO came out when people weren't talking about isekai as much, and before the time when isekai had titles, containing 27 sentences. Taco Piece original scene. I have no idea what this is. I still haven't watched Blue Lock as much as we have talked about it with my co-panelists on our live stream with Buzzpop. Idolish 7. Again, this is another. Is this by Orange? Yeah. As I said before, and anything that's male tends to be Orange Rouge. Orange Rouge, I guess. I don't know. Somebody said this is quite good. I haven't gotten around to watch this yet. We'll do when I have the time. Marginal Service, no idea what this is. Banyak Android. Panjang umur. Yeah, Ken Ryoguchi. Yes. The cover versions are actually quite nice because all the very intricate costumes. But, they look more like fashion models down the catwalk. So I don't think having them doing kung fu poses would suit the characters based on the actual. Oh, Iruma-kun. Yes, a friend of mine watches this. I think the last season was season 3, I think. At first, when I first heard about the IP, I thought, let's try reading the manga, only to find out if it's out in anime format as a 3rd season. It's going to be quite a big chunk of story to go through. Psycho-Pass. I love Psycho-Pass. I've watched it a long time ago. I can't remember anything other than people getting blown up to pieces when they get shot by the guns used by the I can't remember what they even call. I think because they pass judgment by using these massive guns and you blow up. Shogo Makishima, I can't remember whether I so much so that yes, I remember her. She's the main character because it's Hanazawa Kana, and that Shinya Kuna. Shogo Makishima. Oh, must be the. Oh God, I really cannot remember. Looking at him like this, it's likely that he could be one of the. Look at that 10th anniversary. Can you imagine why I can't remember anything about it? Not saying that it's bad, just because really enjoyed it. Although I've yet to see the 3rd season and the current incarnation. I think there's a film out or something. Hikaru no Go. No idea what this is, man. No idea. Not a fan of tokusatsu, so not casting any aspirations, but hey, not too sure if it works as just as much as Bruce Lee here being in Android format. Yeah, there you go. Minions. Bob, Kevin, and Stuart, and Snoopy. If they could do Thomas the Tank Engine, why not this other stuff, kan? Android dolls. Some X Factory stuff. Is this a Figma? Yes, it is. And I have no idea what Hitokaki is. Red. Oh, so these are just swimwear, I guess. So it's meant for any characters that you have. And of course, I'm not going to say, I'm not buying Nando doll because it's so macam budak perempuan. Nothing to do with that. The fact that I collect female scale figures is just as bad as buying dolls. So, but it's just that the whole ethos of, dressing them up, can't be bothered more than anything else. So might as well play with androids. Anyway, so this is a cheerleader outfit for those androids. Right. Oh, an android more dress up. Oh god. Making them an android more dress up baby blue. Oh right. Yes. Android more is fantastic, I mean, like some of the stuff that they have, whether it's out of once they're gone. Like the most famous one is the bunny costumes, and they cost an arm and a leg these days in the second-hand market, especially if it's still in its box. I'm talking about $120 kind of. Original price was like 240 ringgit. And now what we have, like stupid cat android more suits, which I'm not really keen on. Although I did buy the one that looked like a shark. Was it a shark? Maybe. Are we at the end of it? It might be, because yes. Just a quick by the by. Obviously we've exhausted all the Mac Factory and Good Smile Company figures. So our friend here, ruruberries.com, is a website called Moipop, and she's from France, and she's very good in collating all the images of all the different from the galleries from other makers, from Aniplex, as you could see here, Freeing, Orange Rouge, Pop-Up Parade. So she's divided that into. But I'll just gonna not take a look at all of it, but let's have a look at some Aniplex stuff. Okay. I think I saw this. So basically, what she does is, I'm gonna bring the scale down a bit. Yes, so that it'll look better on the screen. So basically, what she does is, I think she collates the pictures from social media, from the sites run by the actual figure producers. So, for example, if it's Aniplex, there'll be the Twitter page of Aniplex, blah blah. So, again, this is Hayasaka Ai from Kaguya-sama. I have a version of the normal version, which is very nice, I thought. Still haven't unboxed her yet. Not too keen to see her as a maid like this. Not because I'm being prude or anything, but it's like, okay, so what? But yeah, if you really like her, then perhaps. At the back here, you could see that's Chitose from Licorice Recoil. Buzzbot. Now, the Buzzbot series, I think it's like the Aniplex version of Figma. I think that means she's posable. Yeah, as you could see, that's the flexible blade. Still not too keen on seeing her in that format though. So we've got a few more Buzzbots. So I've never been a fan of. I think I haven't started. Although I don't think I will start though. Anyway, so we've got Bochi and the two girls from Licorice Recoil. I'm not too sure about Claynell. I don't recognize any of the characters. I've heard of Chloe Van Einsburn. Oh, it's from Fate, Khalid. And this is from Fate Grand Order. And this is from Wing, another Black Rock shooter. And yeah, we saw this just now. Oh, so it is not just by JSC, so it is by in collaboration with Miyuki. I wonder what does that mean, Summer Clothes version, but we'll see. Anyway, so that's the Aniplex. Freeing. Now, reason I'm looking at freeing because I want to see what sort of bunnies or other quarter scale figures there are that's going to come out. So I've always wanted to get a Lum. I think because of the current, get them later when they come out phase. I'm after this one version which, oh god, I can't remember what it's made of. It's one with her and that little baby. It looks really funny. It's a small scale version of the 1/1 scale that they had and displayed in Japan recently. This is one. Oh dear, freeing up. You never think that freeing would do something like this. You think this will be more like a binding kind of a pose and concept, but there's an octopus there disturbing this. It's just like when you have the characters making that kind of faces, you feel really guilty looking at them. I feel like, oh, I don't even know who she is. Shishido Izumi from Blue Archive. Oh god, this is another dumpster fire. Shui from No Game No Life. I mean, they've done lots of. I'm not talking about freeing in general, but figures of her have been like, full well what they're thinking about. Now, this is currently on pre-order, and the friend in red it was on pre-order a couple of days ago. I'm so like torn at the moment because I think I've got enough bunny pre-orders, but I've been looking for skills of these two characters for ages, and it's because that the last one that they've made were like probably 15 years ago. And whenever I do find one, like I do have one of the palm top tiger herself. She's bent forward because it's the plastic that they used to make her in those days was really bad, and she had this ugly looking orange holder to keep her body straight, and you go like, oh my god, what it's all about. So the only figure of her I got was the bunny. Now the problem with the bunny was she's small. She's supposed to be a shorty, but they've made her the correct scale with all the other girls. So what I worry is if I were to buy these two to pose with her, they'll be of all the same height. So that's not the point, because so much for it to be a 1/4 scale, but it's kind of like doesn't look right when they're next to each other. What's this? This is Raftalia. Again, not a big fan. Now, Tulavru Darkness. Yeah, Tulavru Darkness. Tulavru Bunnies. Recently, remember when I was saying about how the second-hand market is now being flooded again? When they first had Lala's, they had Lala's bunny out. The first one that they sold was like $1,000 US. And then slowly, once they started having like 5 or 6 figures in stock, they brought it down. But it was still like 68,000 yen. Gila lah. Now that's nice. That's nice. That quarter scale Kanroji Mitsuri. But then again, it's dynamic, but it still could be better. Because if you've watched, well, we've not shown it yet. Probably the next couple of episodes in this season. But if you've read the manga, I mean, there's a few breathing techniques when she fights the demon that looks really cool. This particular pose, I can't remember which breathing it was. I saw it on YouTube. Somebody actually did a sculpt using a plasticine or something like that, or clay, and painted it and did the same pose, and that was so good. That was so good. Gempak gorgeous gila. So it's like a backward flip with her and with a flexible sword. Who's this? I have no idea who is
evil Nazumi. Right. Solarin. Why is this maker familiar? I have no idea. Sounds familiar, but I can't put my finger at it. Right, so that was the freeing. I think we've looked at some Orange Rouge and Pop-Up Raids and Max Factory from the early gallery from Good Smile Company. But anyway, I mean, I've been going on for an hour and a half talking rubbish as per usual. So what do you think of the collection that they have on offer for us to waste more money? Personally, I have slowed down because I have not much space left, and I think the next stage in my figure collecting journey is I have now to start culling my collection. I have to really look at some of what I have and start selling them. It's going to be a difficult job, but I also want to do it properly, so I wanted to make sure that I know what to do with regards to how to pack stuff, what kind of prices to charge people and whatnot lah. And as I said, if it's what I'm going to do is going to sell it at market price, resale market price. Yeah, not. It would be quite foolish to be selling them at the At the very least, if you want to be charitable, you sell them at the price you bought it at. But it also means that you want to include how much you've paid for tax, how much you've paid for shipping, and you have to charge whatever shipping there is you need to do, the package, all the effort you've made to make sure that the figure. So, if you still want to have zero profit, you still have to charge the person buying your figure more than, provided if it's still in the box. If it's outside the box already, then you have to find a way to how to depreciate the price. But tengoklah juga. But if I've got a Ryoko Mato Ebony already displayed for a couple of years, but if it's not in the sun and it's not fallen down, it's not broken, I'm not selling it for 22,000 yen. But there you go. What do you think of 2023 Spring's gallery? Drop down a comment below. And of course, this is just me trying to hidupkan balik the figure collection component of my videos. So if you've got any suggestions of what you want me to talk about, drop your comments below lah, as per usual. To anyone who do not speak Bahasa Malaysia, I will try to add subs. So basically, because when I speak, I do speak in both languages. So when I do the subs, it'll just change. If I speak in English, the subs will be in Malay and vice versa. But I think you pretty much get the gist of what I'm saying, looking at how I talk about stuff, by the way. And it's still early days, and I'm sure there are better figure YouTubers out there, but this is just me making a record of what I've seen. And if you like what I do, just drop a like, subscribe, and and share the video. So until next time, Ejo desu. Mata to de. Bye.